Thanks for watching Here to Stay TV. I'm here with David Holyoke. He's the global head of business travel with Airbnb. And I'm excited to talk to you about the business travel aspect of it because I think we become so accustomed to Airbnb being a leisure component, but you're growing fiercely on the business traveler side. What's happening with your company?
Well, I'd say first we're getting back to the roots. Our first guests were business travelers, right? And then along the way, we obviously grew at a rapid clip on the leisure side. But within the last 2 years, we've gotten really serious about getting back to business travel. And today, it represents about 15% of our trips on the platform. We're going to grow at about a 4x clip this year. And by 2020, we expect it to be about 30% of the business for Airbnb.
So one of the things that you've been doing is really focusing on business travel lately. Why that strategy and how you're bringing it to life?
Yeah, so it's just really getting back to the roots for Airbnb. Our first 3 guests were business travelers, right? And then along the way, we grew at a rapid clip on the leisure side. Within the last 2 years, we've started to invest heavily in the product and the acquisition side in business travel. And so last year it was a 3x growth rate. This year it'll be about 4x. We represent 15% of the trips on Airbnb today, and we expect that to be about 30% by 2020.
Well, that's a huge increase in growth right there, 4x growth in such a short period of time. But that's, I think, because so many people are learning about it, understanding it. One of the things that I find really curious is the hospitality industry seems to think they're competing directly against you folks. I don't really see it that way. I learned an interesting factoid. Your average business traveler is not staying 1 or 2 nights. It's much longer, thereby taking them out of that typical business travel environment that a lot of the hotels think, they should be worried about.
Yeah, so I mean, and that starts with who our primary guest is, right? It's that modern traveler. They're traveling more and they're staying longer. You're seeing the lines being blurred between leisure and business. So 50% of our bookings today have a Saturday night stay. The average length of stay is 6 nights. So it's business travelers that are there for work, but also to making some use of downtime to get that local experience and to be able to enjoy themselves more.
Right. I think that's why you're really hitting a nerve because, societal trends have shifted where experience is becoming so paramount to the whole overall thing. And one of the things we like to say here to Stay TV is live like a local, right? And you're really facilitating that, but doing it in a different way that hotels haven't really been able to catch on to yet.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 3.5 million properties, and those properties run their gamut of everything from tree houses to igloos to castles to full homes, apartments to business travel ready homes that are optimized for a business travel experience, there is something for everyone. Right. And I think it's ultimately about finding that right home for you on your journey and your trip and being able to live like a local.
I love it. Do you have any Igloo tree houses though? I'd like to stay in one of those.
Yeah, on the leisure side of our business, yes.
I'm sure you do.
But I mean, I would say that's not what we're really promoting on the business travel side. But
all right, well, you're going to lose my business in that case. That being said, I love the creative uses that people are now thinking when it comes to business travel. It's for that extended stay. It's for being around for a while, but it's also great for those corporate retreats where you could put everybody together in an apartment. They have their personal space, but then they have that common area where they can think and problem solve and do their job.
Yeah, so I mean, where you're seeing a lot of growth right now is obviously you have that individual traveler, but now they're starting to find team travel, right? And so you're seeing small teams traveling together, each having their own private room, their private bath, but having a common area to collaborate, network, bond, right? That's exciting. And then you're even seeing just day use spaces where people are literally going into a listing, right? Just for the day, to just have a more collaborative environment, something that's a little refreshing to help get the ideas going versus kind of working in a stale conference room.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how some of the major hotel companies are now powering back, trying to mirror this concept with some new programs that they're doing at new build hotels. But you guys have, you guys did it first, and it's really interesting how things are changing. So where do we go from here? How are you mirroring the future of business travel?
Yeah, so we're focused on 3 areas. First is the traveler, and as I said, it's about really building a product that they love and love repeating. That starts with the booking process for them as they go through, but more importantly, the on-trip experience, right? If you are deconstructing the traditional accommodation provider, making sure there are services and benefits for them at all points of the trip so they have a unique experience. Then there's the booking side, right? So how can we help people booking on behalf of a guest and the host. And then ultimately there's the responsibility to the company, the employer, and what we have to do to help them have visibility and a little more control over where their people are staying.
Great. Makes a lot of sense. Any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you having me. So.
Yeah, I do too. This was great. It was fun. It's different. You know, service apartments, extended stay, they're all really taking off. And here at GBTA, I'm finding they are more than just part of the conversation. They're seeming to become the conversation these days. For David Holyoke and myself, Glenn Haussman, thanks for watching Here to Stay TV.